I mean, it seems like on a personal level, this is coming at such a high cost. You think obviously it's worth it because this is a story that you really want to tell. What do you hope comes out of this?
Well, if Andrew Hayes is in prison and doesn't need to be there, if he is innocent, he needs to be out of prison. If the evidence is pointing toward this other person, she needs to be investigated. It's that simple. And there's ways that both can happen. And so that's my goal, is getting justice for Danny Harris.
Is his family on board with that? I mean, I know you've talked to so many people. What are those conversations like with the people that are directly involved, especially victims and victims' families?
So his family is private about what they're doing. I know that they are active in their own investigation, but they like to remain private, and I respect that and can understand that if it was my father. So I understand that. As far as other investigators and attorneys and experts and family members on Andrew's side, and the suspect's family has come forward and say, we believe that this person did it. We don't believe Andrew did it. We believe that this person did it, and you need to help us go after. So everyone has been surprisingly open with me and wanting to talk.
I know that in the podcast you said that there are serious concerns about how the scene was handled, especially because you note the evidence that pointed to homicide here and pointed to a personal nature of this crime. Do you think now, looking back, it's almost been a decade, that there will be some accountability? And is law enforcement or anyone else taking accountability based on your conversations?
So I hope there is some accountability. I hope there is some opportunities to retest or test evidence that was at the scene then that wasn't tested at the time. So I do think there's opportunities for law enforcement to admit and fix mistakes. And I think Memphis has one of the highest crime rates in the country. The National Guard is there today. Trump has sent the National Guard to Memphis to help with crime. My point in that is these detectives and police officers are overworked. We all make mistakes. My hope is that they acknowledge, or not even acknowledge, they can, that a mistake was made. Let's open this up and try again. No one has to personally put out any, response that they made a mistake. But I do think there's opportunities to reopen this in a way that we'll get answers, and we'll get answers fast. This doesn't have to be some long drawn out thing. I have a meeting with the Memphis DA and Justice Review Unit tomorrow. And I'm hoping that that meeting, they're wanting to know more about the podcast, and they're wanting to know how they can help and get this investigation done as quickly as possible. I hope they feel the pressure.
And I know that you said earlier in this conversation that around the time of the first episode dropping, you got a tip that really blew the case wide open. It's really interesting the way that you set this up, where you dropped half the episodes, you're going back on the road to do more investigations, you're going to drop more episodes in a couple of months. Has any feedback that you've gotten from the podcast so far kind of changed the way you're going to investigate, or maybe posed a question that you didn't even think of that now you're thinking of?
So the feedback that I'm getting is not to take a break because it is happening in real time, and everybody wants more, more, more. But because we're taking a break, there are decisions from courts that need to happen, and so I have to wait on that. And every day there's things that I'm uncovering. So I think during that break, it's also a good time for me and my team to take a step back, because I have an idea of what episodes 7 through 10 are going to be, but also anything could change at any time. It's a real story happening in real time. So it is. If you ask me what episode 10 is about, I cannot tell you. I don't know.
That's incredible. And I hope that when episode 10 comes out, we can have another conversation and talk about just exactly where that investigation took you and everything in there. But the first couple of episodes are out of Everything They Missed. Where can people find them?
Anywhere you get your podcasts. So everything they missed, anywhere you can get your podcasts. Everythingtheymissed.com is my website where you can find more information about the case. The trailers on there. You can see the people involved in the story. And I hope people listen and enjoy it.
Well, Stephanie Tinsley, thank you so much for joining me. You're welcome back anytime. And like I said, I hope we can regroup when you're done and back from the road. Thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.